Hello students, welcome to physics class. Myself is Mr. Sanaullah Khan and CMS Java. Today we are going to start chapter number 3, motion in a straight line. Okay, so let us start now. We begin this chapter with first topic, that is mechanics. Mechanics is one of the branch of physics. What does it means? Mechanics means the branch of physics which deals with the study of motion of object and their equilibrium state of it under the many forces. Means object which is in motion we are going to study in this branch, and their equilibrium when the object is under any external force. Okay. Mechanics is further divided into three parts. Number one part is statics. What do you understand by static? Static means at rest position only. Okay. The branch of physics which deals with the study of object or bodies in equilibrium under the action of any external force. Second part of it is kinematics. Kinematics is another part of mechanics. The branch of mechanics which deals with the study of the mechanical motion of bodies without taking into account the cause of the motion of the bodies. Means here in this branch we are going to study about only the motion of the object, not the cause of the object. Why does the motion causes in the particular object or body? Third branch or third part of mechanics is dynamics. The branch of mechanics which deals with the study of mechanical motion, and it says that what is the reason behind this cause, means what is the reason behind the motion of this particular object. So we are going to study here the main reasons for the cause of motions in a particular body or object. So this is about mechanics. Mechanics is a branch of physics which is further divided into three parts. Number one part is statics, number two part is kinematics, and third part of it is dynamics. So let us start now. Frame of reference now. In order to just understand the motion or state or rest position of a particular object, let us first go through this topic, frame of reference. What do we understand by the frame of reference? So frame of reference means that a particular point, fixed point or place. Okay, a particular point or fixed place is there which with respect to which we try to understand the position, the velocity, the acceleration of a body or an object, and we can measure it. Okay. For example, I am standing here in front of the board. So this board is frame of reference for me because my position, my location is mentioned by using the frame of reference, this board. I am standing in front of this board, so board is the frame of reference or reference point for me to locate my position. This is frame of reference. Frame of reference is further divided. Okay, we can see that there are three types of frame of references: Cartesian coordinate system, spherical coordinate, polar coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system. But here for us the useful thing is Cartesian coordinate system. We are going to study this frame of reference under the Cartesian coordinate system. So Cartesian coordinate system we can see in two different ways. Number one, xy plane. Xy plane means that a particular point is here over this board. This is x-axis. Suppose that this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Okay, and the point is here. So the location of this particular point with respect to this x-axis is how much? It is this much distance away in x-axis. How much it is in y-axis? It is this much distance from the y-axis. O is called as the origin of it. Okay, so this O is called as particular point of reference for the particular point P here. This is xy plane. XYZ plane in three dimension, if we want to see that, three dimension is that three axes are there. O is the origin, OX, OY, OZ. OZ may be in this direction also. Suppose that if we are taking, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, then this point, this direction will be the z-axis of it, and O is the origin of it. So we can locate point here in space also, anywhere in space, and we can measure its distance, its position, okay, with respect to all three dimensions. Okay, so this is the three dimensional Cartesian coordinate system. If we want to find out the coordinate of this P, so coordinate of this P in x direction will be x, in y direction it will be y, and in z somewhere it will be here. Okay, so this position will be in z direction, it is z. So the coordinates of this particular point in 3 dimension will be x, y, z. Similarly, in plane surface, xy plane, its coordinate of a particular point will be xy only. Okay, and the origin is same O in both cases. So okay, we see here types of Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so we can see the inertial frame of references. Inertial frame of references further divided into 2 parts here. In Cartesian coordinate system, we are going to understand the inertial frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference is what here? Any frame of reference is either at rest or moving with uniform velocity is called inertial frame of reference. Means particular body or an object which is in motion, means which is at rest position, static position, or which is moving with constant velocity. Such frame of reference, if we consider it as a frame of reference or reference point, then such frame of reference is called as the inertial frame of reference. For example, a particular train is moving with a constant velocity and any vehicle is moving with a constant velocity, then this particular vehicle or train is said to be the inertial frame of reference. Okay, here the Newton's first law is applicable for inertial frame of reference. Second part, non-inertial frame of reference. What do we understand by non-inertial frame of reference? So we say that here in this case, in this type of references, the body or an object get accelerated. Okay, so a frame of reference which accelerated is called non-inertial frame of reference. For example, a ball lying on the floor of a bus which is at rest position. Now this ball starts when bus accelerated. Okay, means this ball start moving in a bus. If it is lying on the floor of bus there, when bus start or bus get accelerated, the ball which is lying on the floor of a particular bus there, it also start moving there. Okay, so bus is non-inertial frame, and here in this particular case non-inertial frame, we say that the Newton's first law does not applicable. It is not apply here. Okay. States of a body. So we have just up to now we have understood about the frame of references, different types of frame of references, inertial frame of references, non-inertial frame of references, the Cartesian coordinate system in which the frame of references are explained or understood. Okay, we can understand in the Cartesian coordinate system. States of a body. So generally we can say that there are 2 states of body. Okay, state of motion and state of rest position. So how will you define the state of rest position or state of a motion of a body? We say that frame of reference point. We have to consider any frame of reference or reference point in order to explain the definition of rest position of a body or a motion of a body. We say that in case of rest position, how do we explain, how do we define it? We say that the state of rest position of a body is defined as the body does not changes its position with respect to a reference point. Suppose that particular pen is lying on the table, okay, or I am standing here in front of the board here, okay, and I am not changing my position, I am standing at one place only. Okay, so we say that the person who is standing in rest position, okay, means standing here only, it is not changing its position here with respect to this particular board, is in rest. A pen is lying on the table there, okay, it is not changing its position with respect to any reference point we take, then we can say that particular object is in rest position. So rest position means that the body or object which does not changes its position with respect to a reference point. State of motion is just the body or object which changes its position with respect to a reference point is called as motion of a body. So rest position of a body or motion of a body we can define like this. Here in case of Example we can take here. A person is standing on the road and a bus is moving or passing him. Means standing on the road by the side of the road, person is standing there and bus is passing through the road there. Okay. Now a person at rest with respect to a particular object if we consider there, and bus is moving there and a person is at rest position, so we can say that bus is in motion, it is passing by from there. Okay. So we can explain both the state of rest position or a state of a motion of a body. Okay. Types of motion. How many types of motions are there? So just now we have just seen the definition of motion. The body which changes its position with respect to reference point. Types of motion. So generally we just try to study, or you have already in previous classes studied about the types of motions. You have heard about this, so they are familiar to you only. Also translational motion is the first. Translational motion, rotational motion, vibrational motion. What do we understand by translational motion? We can call it rectilinear motion also, we can call it state motion also. Okay. Translational motion, we define the translational motion in such a way that if an object or a body is moving in a straight path or in a straight line, then the motion of particular object or body is said to be translational. Means body or object is moving on a straight line or straight path. We call this type of motion as a translational motion. If a point or point object is moving in a straight line or a straight path, then we can call it rectilinear motion. It is the same motion in a straight line, motion in a straight path, but the difference of point object and the difference of and the body or object. If we take a particular body there are so many points over the body there, point objects are there, or single point if we take, we call this type of motion as a rectilinear motion, and if we take a body or object in case, we call this type of motion as a translational motion. Rotational motion. Rotational motion means that a particular point or object moves about its axis of rotation. Suppose that this is the axis of rotation here. So we can say that a particular object is moving about its axis of rotation like this. This type of motion is said to be the rotational motion for a point, and axis of rotation is this line. Okay. In this way also, if I consider this pen like this, it is moving like this. So point is here, it is also moving, but the axis of rotation is my finger only. Okay. In this way, if I take this one, okay, so how it moves? If I rotate like this by holding like this is the rotational motion, but this line over this is the axis of rotation of this object. If I hold like this and if I just allow to move like this is also rotational motion, and this line is the axis of rotation. So this type of motion is said to be the rotational motion. Motion of an object or body, okay, or point object or body about its axis of rotation is said to be the rotational motion. Vibrational motion, we can call this type of motion as a oscillatory motion also. If particular object or body moves about to and fro about its mean position like this, okay, to and fro about its mean position. This is supposed to be in rest position body. Now it will move like this in this direction and come back to its rest position, means this is the mean position, and again move like this. Then come back to its mean position, again move like this. So when the motion of a body is to and fro about its mean position, then the motion, such motion is said to be the vibrational motion or oscillatory motion of a body. So we can say this vibrational motion of a pendulum is vibrational motion, oscillatory motion. If a child is swinging in a swing, then this motion is also called as the oscillatory motion or vibrational motion. Motion in 1, 2 and 3 dimensions. So one dimension motion is very simple. If a particle moves in a straight path or straight line, we can say that its motion is one dimensional motion. Okay. Second, 2-dimensional motion. A particle is moving in a plane surface, then we can say that the motion of the particle is two-dimensional motion. Like an insect is moving on the floor or floor surface there, it can move anywhere in x direction or in y direction. So, its motion is said to be the two-dimensional motion. Three-dimensional motion, particle is moving in space, means a point is hanging here in air. So, in this particular air, if we just try to just measure the distance like this, okay, like this from here y axis, then from here x axis, and from the board if we just measure its distance z axis. So, three dimensions are there, three axes are there for this particular point here. Okay. So, a particle, the motion of a particle in a space is said to be the three-dimensional motion. So, these are the types of motions. Let us go now. We try to understand the position of an object here. We have taken the help of this number line. I think that you have already just seen this number line while just understanding the integers there. This is O. Now here, O here in this number line, this is said to be the origin. All the numbers, if we try to measure the just length of path or the distance here from here, all the numbers which are lying on the right side is said to be the positive, on the left side is said to be the negative. Okay. If I locate one point here P on 3, then we can say that the distance of P from the origin is 3. If we measure the distance in meter here, so we can call it P is 3 meter from the origin. O is said to be the origin. Okay. If I take any other point here Q at -4, so we say that what is the distance, what is the position of Q? So we say that from the origin the position of Q is -4 meter. Okay. So in this way, by using the locations we can understand the position of a particular object here. On right hand side of this reference point origin, we take as positive, all the values positive, and left hand side we are taking its negative values there. Okay. Let us see the next topic now. Distance and displacement. First, in order to understand the distance, we just try to understand the initial point and the final point. When the body starts from a particular point, or an object start moving from a particular point or a starting point, it is called its initial point. When body completes its journey, okay, at a particular point there, so that point is said to be the end point, we can call that point is called said to be the final point. So initial point, starting point, ending point, final point. So we say that if we try to just define the distance here first, the length of path covered or travelled by a body or object from initial point to final position or initial position to final position is called its distance. We can define distance like this. Now we have seen that this triangle, we have taken the help of this triangle here. ABC is a triangle. From A to B the distance is 2 meter. From B to C the distance is 3 meter, and from C to A again the distance is 5 meter. Suppose that an object or particle start moving from location A and it has to, following all the points, come back to again position A. How much distance or what will be the length of path covered by a particle? We say that it will move from A to B by covering 2 meter distance, then B to C by covering 3 meter distance, then C to A by covering 5 meter distance. So total distance or total length of path covered by a particle from AB, BC and CA back again, what will be the total length of path? We can write here, we can add AB plus BC plus CA, 2 meter plus 3 meter plus 5 meter, 10 meter. So this is said to be the distance. Total length of path covered by object or particle from the initial position to final position, it is called its distance. How will we indicate the distance what will be the unit of this physical quantity? So unit in SI unit of distance is meter, which is indicated by symbol small m. CGS unit of distance is centimeter, cm. Practically unit of distance we use kilometer. Okay. It is a scalar quantity. Why distance is a scalar quantity? Because it shows only the magnitude. The length of path covered between the two positions, initial position and final position only. Okay. This is only the magnitude, 10 meter, 2 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer. This is only the magnitude, not the direction. So it is said to be a scalar quantity because it has no direction, it has only magnitude. Distance is always measured, or its value is always taken to be a positive value, it is never be a negative or 0. Distance travelled by vehicle is measured by device. When we see the vehicles there, motorbikes there, okay, so the distance is shown in a device which is placed over the dashboard of the vehicle, and that device is called as odometer. So by using odometer we can measure the distance, we can see the distance covered by a particular vehicle or bike. Okay, so it is fitted on the dashboard of a vehicle. Displacement. Displacement and distance. So we say that displacement has direction. It is the shortest distance between the initial to final position and in a particular direction. So it has direction and magnitude both. So this quantity is said to be the displacement. The shortest distance from the initial position to final position in a particular direction is called displacement. Change in the position of particle also we can call. We can take the difference between initial and final position also. The difference between initial and final position are also called as a displacement. Okay. In a particular time interval, the change in position of a particle along a particular direction in a particular time interval is called displacement. So displacement, we can take out the displacement by taking the difference between the two positions, final position and the initial position. Suppose a person an object or particle start moving from 0, it reaches to 10. Okay. So 0 is the initial position, 10 is the final position. Difference between 0 and 10 is 10 minus 0, we can get 10. This is the displacement. In this way we can take out displacement. Which type of quantity it is? Displacement is a vector quantity because it has both magnitude and direction. Now regarding the value of displacement, displacement has all three types of values. It can be positive, it can be negative also, or it is 0 also. Okay. So in what way the displacement is said to be positive? Suppose that an object start moving from a particular point, initial position, and reaches to final position. If the final position, the value of final position is greater than initial position, then difference between these two is the positive value, because initial position is smaller and final is greater. For example, 5 to 10, 5 is smaller and 10 is greater. So difference between these two positions will be positive. In that case we can get the displacement as a positive. Negative value we will get only if the final position is less than the initial position, we can get the negative value of it. 0 if it is stationary. If an object is stationary, it is not moving, okay, in that case it may be 0. Or if its initial and final position is same. Suppose that a particular athlete is moving in a circular path, circular track. It starts from a particular point in a circular track and start running from circular track and come back to the same point again. Then what will be the displacement of this athlete? So the initial position of the displacement is this point only, and when it come back to this point, the final position will be same also. So initial and final position will be same, so its displacement will be 0, but it has distance. because distance means the measure of the particular circular track will become the distance, but its displacement will be 0 because both positions are same there. Its unit is same, displacement unit will be same as distance, SI unit meter, CGS unit centimeter. Displacement of particle does not depend upon the shape of the path followed by a particle. It does not depend on the shape of the path followed by a particle, okay, but distance depend, displacement does not depend. And if we compare both quantities, distance and displacement, we can say that distance is always greater or equal to displacement. The value of distance is always greater or equal to displacement, and displacement is always less than or equal to distance. Okay. So, this is about the two terms, two physical quantities, very important, distance and displacement. Okay. For this that is all for this topic, today's topic now. Okay. So, all of you stay safe, stay healthy. Okay. Till then we will take the next topic in the next video. Goodbye. Thank you.